All right, here we go.
Business. You know,
Is it going live? Oh,
it says we're live.
yep. I think we're having a little bit of a delay.
Are you a fan of horror movies?
Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead.
What about cult classics?
Your move, creep.
If you are, you'll love Shocking Things. Please search for us on all the major podcasting platforms. To see our social media and a direct link to our podcast, please go to anchor.fm/shockingthings.
Tracy Smothers, Harley Race, Tim Storm, Bushwhacker Luke, Bobby Fulton. The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 1, Bill Dundee, Supermex Hernandez, C.W. Anderson, Ricky Morton, Sir Mo, and many others share their stories of determination, triumph, and sorrow. Get your book today at Russellville.com or at Amazon.com. Russellville, it's where wrestling lives.
To the PWZ podcast, I've got a very special guest today. My man, Sunset Steve Garcia. How are you today?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
Great. Basically, I want to know a little bit more about you, get these people out here to know a little bit more about you as well. Tell me about your interest in professional wrestling as a youngster.
Oh, man. Interest in professional wrestling. You got me going back 20 years, man. I was 5 years old. About 6 years old, man. I was so in love. What got me so in love with it were the action figures and the toys and the little toy rings and the championship belts. When I first started seeing those things, and I thought it was just toys. And then my uncle was sitting down watching TV, and I saw it live for the first time. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was so, ever since then, I was just so fascinated with professional wrestling.
Who were some of your favorites early on?
My early on favorites, I've been inspired by the Hardys, man. Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy has just been my guy since I was a kid. So he's not the only one. You know, I've always loved paint face guys like Sting. Always loved Sting. Always loved when he changed all the types of fucking face colors that he had, face paints. It was just amazing. Ultimate Warrior. When I was a kid growing up, but I got to see the last bits of the Ultimate Warrior because I'm still only, I was just still a kid. So I only got to see like his final days, but then my uncle started showing me like his early clips, and I was like fantasized with face paint wrestlers ever since too. So Sting and Jeff Hardy has been like my inspirations growing up.
I get that. From when I was a kid, I kind of was for a little bit. I think I'm a little bit older than you though. So, it was a very popular thing to be a face painted wrestler in the 80s. Adonis, hello, told you he'd be here. So
What's up, Adonis? How you doing?
So he joins in just about every night, and I know he was looking forward to this show. There was a lot of face painted wrestlers. When did you discover? You brought up guys like Sting and the Ultimate Warrior. I know Sting had a long career. He was involved in the 90s, but when would you say that you discovered guys like that in the Ultimate Warrior, like roughly?
See, the Ultimate Warrior, I discovered him because when I first had my first action figures, they were old school wrestlers. Like, right. I was like in 2002 having a Hulk Hogan action figure and having an Ultimate Warrior action figure and Macho Man and Ken Shamrock and all of that. So I'm over here just lost. Like, wait, what are these action figures? I know these are people as a kid, like being lost, and then my uncle was sitting down, and my uncle's he can't hear, he can't speak, and all of that. So all he ever knew was wrestling. So he was clicking down the channels, and actually one day a Royal Rumble popped up where all of the old school wrestlers, Macho Man and Yokozuna, all of them were on there, And that's when I started discovering the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan and all that. These are actual real people. I'm like, oh snap. And yeah, ever since then, that's when I really realized that Ultimate Warrior, all his matches from like SummerSlam in the '80s, and ever since there, it was go home like every time.
We actually have a question from somebody viewing. Sunset, what do you think about Kylon?
I think about Kylon. I think he's a great athlete, man. He's really top notch in my eyes. Like, if I get the chance to wrestle him again, I would wrestle him with flying colors. Like, he was one of my best matches, personally wise as well. He's a great person. He's a great friend. When I need someone to talk to, sometimes I can just give him a call. He'll be there. You know, it's nothing here but a competition, but I don't see it like that when it comes to him. I see him as a brother, and anytime, any place, man, we can run it back.
He's a great wrestler. Probably, I'll bring this up now, but there's a lot of, like, the Northeast has a lot of really great wrestlers. And I'd have to say he's really rising to the top of the New England scene. Like, he's really out there now. And
of course. Like, I learned a lot from Kylon King. Sorry to cut you off. I was just ready to say that. But I have personally learned a lot from him, from watching him wrestle and wrestling him myself. I learned a couple things, and how to even get better in the ring as well. So I do agree with you. He's definitely one of the top rising stars in the Northeast right now.
That'd be a match I'd really love to see.
Oh, yeah, man. We had one match already back for the IC title. For the PAPW IC title, he ended up being the better man that night. It was at Type 1 to none, if I'm not mistaken, I think, if I go back to it. Yeah, it was like a Type 1 to none, yeah. So I ended up facing him for the IC title. He ended up being the better man that night. So I will definitely love to run it back with him, and it will definitely be an honor.
Do you hear that, Paradise Alley? If anybody of you guys are watching, book that match because I want to see it. Jonathan Sardi, hello. Thank you for jumping in the chat. How are you tonight? So what made you decide to get into professional wrestling outside of your interest as a kid? And what made you just take that leap, I guess, if you will?
Well, I'm just going to get a little personal now here when it comes to that level. So, and I'm going to say it anyways, but after a while, once I was a kid and I saw that and had all the action figures, once I turned a certain age, I was about 12 years old, I got lost and I stopped watching professional wrestling. I stopped being a part of it. I stopped playing video games. I stopped acknowledging it. I stopped even thinking about it. I became one of those people that was anti-wrestling. And it was mainly because I used to get teased a lot from it. So I just decided to, put it aside and not worry about it no more. And I focused a lot on the streets, and I focused a lot on doing things that I wasn't supposed to and going down the wrong path, in and out of jail cells and arrested here all the time. And I was scrolling down some old school wrestling, and I was telling my wife, I'm like, oh man, I used to love this when I was a kid. I wish I can like get back into it and something like that. And I ended up buying a video game. I ended up buying 2K14 back when it came out, and ever since then I was like right back at it. And I'm like, okay, I like this. And then I saw an interview with Paul Roma. Paul Roma talking to everybody at home, sitting down on the couch, thinking you can do this. You're nothing but a couch potato. That right there struck a nerve in me to go and figure out where the school is at. Who's Paul Roma? I was like, wait, I know I can do this. And I ended up developing an addiction, throughout in the middle of it. So I was that type of person that thought I can do it. And they're smoking, thinking I can last with them. And then when Paul Roma put me in there, he put me to the ultimate task. And once he said couch potato, I was looking for wrestling schools online for all this stuff, internet. The first one I saw was Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and Paul Roma's number was right there. That's the first one I called, and I told him about the couch potato right on the phone. He said he kind of got in his Paul Roma ways, and he brought me into the school, told me he thinks I can do this, and ever since then I fell in love with it. If I would have known there was a wrestling school like this close to me, I probably would have done this since the age of 12, 13 years old. I would have never ended up in the path that I ended up in. But I'm still grateful for it because here I am. I'm still involved. I finally joined, and now I'm a current pro wrestler in the Northeast. So
I mean, Paul Roma was an amazing athlete in his day, and I mean, for the guy his age, look at what he looks like. He does not look like a regular gentleman of his age. You know, he still looks the same as he did back in, say, 1987 or 1990. You know,
Oh yeah, man.
incredible shape.
He'll still give
Yeah,
you a run for your money, man. Don't get me wrong. But that's exactly how I got into the business. He basically kind of called me out without even knowing he called me out, without even knowing who I was.
right.
So ever since then, I've always been that go getter. That if I feel like you're talking to me through something, I'm just gonna go and try it, even though you don't know it. I'm just gonna go and try it, and I always had the love for it. So it came back ever since then, and it really helped me. It took me out of the streets. One, it got me clean. Two, and it made me be a family man. It made me appreciate my family more for all the time while being on the road and missing out time. It makes you appreciate what you have at home. It really, really
Right.
does. So for
Absolutely.
those that are looking to have a family in this business, like I suggest wait, because you're going to be away from your family a lot of times heading out in the road, and it'll teach you a lot more appreciation. But just hold on and live out your dreams, man. Don't wait too late like I did.
We got Micky Byggs in the chat. I know you know him. He's a
Micky
giant pain in the
Byggs.
ass. That's the manager of Greg Baylor.
I
So
can't get enough of these guys, can I?
I know, right? I hope that he does not cause any trouble this coming weekend at Point Blank. We do have a question.
Well,
Oh, go
what
ahead.
is that?
Go ahead. We have a
Well,
question from the Guardian of Chaos.
oh my
Let's see.
man.
I'm going to put it up on the screen and waiting for it to transfer over. It's a question Sunset. I believe your last few opponents have been Fly Nine Noriega, Jiggy Sosa, and Lucas Chase. Can you tell us something about each guy? Thank you for that question.
Well,
GOC.
Jiggy, not really too much of a problem with him. You know, we had our fair share matches. It was nothing but competition. It's all love between me and Jiggy at the moment. You know, it's no bad blood there. You know, it was just a match. We got through business, and that was that. Lucas Chase, he still strikes a nerve sometimes when I hear the name, because that's one of my biggest obstacles right now, and I'm very determined to accomplish it, and I will. I guarantee you, I will accomplish Lucas Chase. But he's a one tough competitor. I give you that. He gave me a run for my money. He was the better man, but I'm not done with him. I'm not done with him. But I'll be coming for Lucas Chase again pretty soon. And Fly Nine Noriega, don't get me wrong, he was tough. He's been tough throughout my whole childhood. He's still being tough now. Like, he just couldn't help it. He ended up going down the route by selling his soul to Greg Baylor to come and attack me for past situations that we've had. You know, we've been friends since we were kids, and I don't know why he's doing this, but besides that, I personally think he's a good wrestler, and I personally think that if he gets himself away from Greg and does his own thing, he will actually be a very, very big threat to professional wrestlers around the Northeast. So, yeah, man, get your head out of your butt and give me my one-on-one like a man, and then you can move on to better task, man. Just like I want Greg Baylor after this is all done, man. That's it. But those are my opinions on these three guys, you know, pretty much. And I'm definitely looking forward to running it back with Lucas Chase. And I'm definitely looking for my rematch with Fly Nine Noriega.
How many times have you met Chase? Has it been more than once, or is it just the one time? Or am I
Sometimes
thinking
it's been
different?
more than
Yeah,
once. My first
it has.
encounter with him was last year, back in July. That was my first
Okay.
encounter with him. But we've been in the ring multiple occasions. I think this was our third time in the ring. Our second time we ever met was in the Gauntlet. That's when he struggled to beat me, which he knows. He
Right.
doesn't like to admit it. But he knows he had a struggle that day. But yeah. And then the third time was here at Paradise Alley when we had that one-on-one. And I'm looking forward to actually seeing him again at BCW. I know we were at the Battle Royal. We ended up having that final meet in BCW, but I'm still looking forward to continuing with him too.
Well. Jonathan Sardi says, glad you're back into it, Sunset. Your matches are always entertaining and a pleasure to watch.
Thank you so much, John. That really means a lot, man. Thank you.
And look who is in the chat. Fly9 Noriega. Let me throw that chat up on the screen. Give it a second to join in. We have a little bit of a lag. And
It's
thank you
all
for
right.
joining us, everybody. Sergeant Murray is in the chat. Hello, sir. Glad to see you.
Tell
Hope to see
Fly
you this
Night
weekend.
he's gonna put some respect on my name on the 30th.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see you, homie. Don't worry. It'll be like old days, man. You already know.
All right. So tell me about your first match coming into professional wrestling.
Oh, I
Where
love
was it?
talking about this part. My very first match was against Big Bad Vlad for the Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling Championship.
Okay,
That was my
wow.
very first match ever,
That's a
actually.
big
I
first
entered
match
right in.
for somebody. Yeah.
It was a big first match. It ain't ended so big. He kind of got knocked out in about 3-4 minutes into the match. So and he gave me 2 vicious power bombs. He ended up power bombing this kid onto Matias. That it was just so foul. But that was the past. The past is the past. I hope he's doing better things now. And that's that. I really would love to run it back one last time with Flat. Now, all the way from my very first match till now, I think it will be a very good sequence, and I would love to run it back with Flat too one last time.
He hasn't been around for a while, so it'd be nice to see him come in. Maybe you can, meet him again. So, of course, Micky Byggs has something nice to say, as always. Let's see here. It says, gorgeous Greg Baylor will soon be setting the sun on Steve. I promise you that. About to get blocked, my friend.
Plenty have tried, only a few succeeded.
And let's see, the Guardian, Nick Payne. Hello, happy to see you, my friend, here in the chat.
What's up, my man?
Guardian of Chaos at Point Blank this weekend at PAPW have a triple threat against Jarrett Diaz and Mark Alexander. Any game plan for a 3-way as opposed to singles match? Thanks, Professor. Thank you, GOC, for jumping in.
Well, Mark Alexander has been really making a name for himself right now. And Mark Alexander has been really showing out in Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. Right now, the minute he walks out, the crowd goes nuts. And he's a great performer. He's a great athlete in the ring. So I'm definitely looking forward to throwing down with him. Jarrett Diaz as well. Jarrett Diaz has been doing his thing around in the Northeast, and I'm definitely looking forward to throw down with him too. But my game plan going into that, you already know, is taking them all out, go in, outshine, get that 3 count, and go home to move on to Greg Baylor, because that's my ultimate task right now going into Paradise Alley.
Mark Alexander is one of those guys. He's quickly improving every time I see him. He's putting on sometimes one of the best matches on the show.
Oh man, he's top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really, really good. And how long has he been at it? Maybe a year?
He's been at it, man. He's been at it for a while now. Honestly, I don't know how long he's been at it now, but I know he's been doing this thing for quite some time now, and he's really making a name for himself, man. And if you're not booking Mark Alexander, then you're wrong, man. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're not booking Mark.
All right, let's see. May 22nd, 2021, you met John Steele and Sean Leader in a 3-way at Shut Up and Wrestle. What do you remember about that match?
That was one of my favorite matches. Sean Leader still robbed us for that match. And that's the only time I had the encounter with John Steele. I actually haven't been in the ring with him in a while. I would love to run it back with him too. Me and John Steele have good chemistry in the ring. I really like. He's really good. I like throwing it with John Steele.
Yeah, another tremendous performer that we haven't seen him in Paradise Alley in a little while either. Oops, did I just hit see, Fly9 Noriega says, Mark stuck his nose into my business. Greg and I ain't over with this BS.
Oh, Mark. Mark just was out looking out for a friend. That's what Mark was doing. He ain't stuck his nose in no one's business.
Sarge says, Sunset, what match would you like to be the rubber match with Greg Baylor?
What type of match I would like, basically?
Yeah, what match would you like to be the rubber match with Greg Baylor?
Oh man, I would love to make this man quit in front of the entire crowd. I would so love to grab him by his puny little neck and just rank him back with the microphone right in his mouth and make him say quit. Like make him say I quit in front of the entire Paradise Alley crowd. But hey, I don't make the rules in Paradise Alley, so I will take Greg in any way, shape, or form they give him to me.
Yeah, man, that'd be something I'd love to see. All right, so then from there you went June 12th, 2021 against Magnificent Marcos.
Yeah, that was a good match too. That was Battlefront too, right? I think, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Battlefront. Yep, sorry, I forgot to throw that part in. Who's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
tremendous performer out of the New England area.
Yeah, he's the current TOS champion. I'm actually running it back with him at Blood, Sweat, and Tears June 3rd.
Okay.
So me and him get to finally have our rematch long in the making. He was actually I was only like 7 matches in too when I wrestled him. Like I was only like 7-8 matches in when I wrestled him. I debuted in February of 2021 and I wrestled him in June. So I was only about maybe 15 matches at most in.
Of course, last summer you took on High Voltage Omar at PAPW Emergence, who I think, we haven't seen Omar in quite a bit, but he's definitely a great performer as well. The New England scene, I'm sorry, I keep saying this about a lot of these guys, but the New England scene has produced such a great, vast amount of talent.
Oh, yeah, we got so much talent, man, all around the Northeast, man. So much that, sometimes there's so much talent that is great that you get a blank mind because you're just like, wait, there's so much. And the minute a name pops up, you're like, yeah, such a great dude because there's so many of them.
Yep.
It's just like, it's crazy.
All right, GOC has got another question. Let's see here. Who has been the toughest thus far in the ring?
Whew. As much as he gets under my skin and as much as he think he has to cure, but I think so far that's been my toughest, and that's why I've been so determined to accomplish that victory, because that's Samoan drop, man. I'll tell you that. But I got up, he ain't keep me down, so to this day I still keep on rising, and I'm gonna keep rising until he goes down.
What do you think about his split from Zachariah?
I should have saw it. I definitely saw it coming. I knew he didn't have to cure for it. So that's what happens when you don't have to cure, right? Just wrap it up, throw it out, huh?
Micky Byggs, don't ask a generic question, but I'll ask it anyways. Serious question for you. Where do you see yourself in the business in the next 5 years?
I see myself, I don't want to get myself too big-headed here, but I see myself at least signed somewhere. I'm not gonna say something where I should be top-notch, but I do see myself signed and making a good living off of professional wrestling. So that's my goal, because I don't do this for money. I don't do this for fame. I do this because I love it. I do this because I live it. And I do this because this is who I am as a person. And I don't get paid to be myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit here and ask for money to be myself. I don't do none of that. I just try to make a living out of it. And this is what I love, and this is what I do. So I just see myself signed either MLW, NWA, which, to be honest, NWA has been my biggest goal since I was actually a kid. NWA,
I love to hear that. So
NWA Power is honestly, to me, would be my biggest accomplishment. Other than walking down a WrestleMania stage, NWA would be my biggest accomplishment, because that is the oldest reigning championship. That's the oldest reigning achievement. NWA World's Champion can't get any better than that. All the greats have held that title. It's the very first, to me, is the very first and the longest reigning professional wrestling championship to date.
I'm going to segue for a second here, just because you did say that. You know, me and Micky Byggs are huge NWA fans. We do have an NWA podcast, which streams live every Wednesday evening, 9 o'clock. So make sure you check that out. NWA has been my favorite promotion since I was a kid. I still watch in any formation or any version of the NWA. And I just found out today they're going to be running a show in Brooklyn in June.
Oh man.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Hope they make the trip out there for that.
Oh, I definitely hope I could too. But yeah, that's been my ultimate goal. You know, obviously everyone's goal is walking down a WrestleMania stage. If you're in this business and you don't want to walk down a WrestleMania stage, then you're in the wrong business. You know, but other than that, my goal is definitely the NWA signing and walking out NWA World's Champion. That's my future goal. That's where I see myself in the next 5 years.
That's amazing. John Sardi, love the explosion of the indies in the Northeast. The Northeast, I mean, there's always a really great area, but it's like the last few years have just been just something really special about the Northeast in the indies. There's something really awesome. Let's see. No more comments currently. So if anybody wants to enter anything into the chat, go ahead. It will be asked. Just, make sure it's appropriate. So let's see. We're going to say, so you had your first meeting, if I'm not correct, or if I'm correct. Did you have your first meeting with Greg Baylor in January of this year? Or was it late last year?
The first time I had an encounter with Greg, I think it was a dark match. It was a dark match. Yeah, so it wasn't really like all out there. It was really a dark match. But it was like right before it was sometimes towards the ending of 2021. It was definitely between December and January. So that was my very first encounter with Greg. And I don't know what was his problem. He just kept on, chasing after me, and he finally ended up pinning me down to the ground. Did it in a slothy way, in a slithery way, but he did pin my shoulders down to the ground. He just couldn't help it, man.
Very sneaky in his ways, especially with his new manager Micky Byggs stepping in there.
So it's like that's why I can't sit here and have good words to say with him, because you did pin me down, you did pin me 1, 2, 3, but you did it in such a cowardly way that it's like, come on, man. I'll give more props to certain other guys I've been in the ring with that actually danced with me, But you want to sit here, pin your shoulder, pin me dirty hit me with a chair and attack me, do all these little sneaky attacks, and it's just, come on, man. I thought you knew better, but hey, to each your own.
It's kind of question for me. The Guardian of Chaos. Let's see, Professor. Question: could you see Sunset stepping out the competition to a Beyond Limitless or Northeast, as well as TOS, continue in Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Shut Up and Wrestle, and home PAPW? Absolutely. I definitely see, when we're talking here about the explosion of the indies in Northeast, some of the biggest companies out of the Northeast right now are Beyond and Limitless. And I can definitely see, there's other gentlemen from Paradise Alley that are currently out there and making a name for themselves, such as Kylon, like we mentioned earlier, and Flash, and The Haven, and other such guys. I can definitely see Sunset definitely being a part of that group that is working there on a regular basis in the future.
Oh yeah, don't be surprised, man. It could be anytime soon. I could walk down Thursday night anytime. I'm just waiting for the right time in myself, because I do want to be at the best of my abilities when I do walk down that stage. So yeah, man, like I definitely see myself there too. It's just when the time is right, I'll definitely walk down Beyond, definitely walk down Limitless. I'll definitely be in Northeast, and those are the goals, man. That's the rise up.
Especially Northeast, they book some very big shows out of the area. They go out to the high schools out in, let's say, Waterbury. I think they brought in just about 2,000 people in one of their last shows. And that's, when I was a kid, it is. But when I was a kid, that could have been a regular house show for WWF, in the New Haven Coliseum.
That is, yeah.
It's in, it's kind of, just to think about it, it's a large crowd.
Yeah.
I don't have it to get out there and just, perform like that myself, but I'd be nervous as all hell. GOC, who has been the toughest outside the ring for Sunset?
As in
Yeah.
in the ring, you mean?
You're saying inside the ring or outside the ring? It says outside the ring for Sunset. Who has been?
If it's inside the ring, then it's definitely been.
You've been going for Chase,
Yeah,
right?
Baron's definitely was Chase. He's been my toughest opponent so far. You know, and not only Chase too. PJ Savage, he was pretty tough too when I wrestled him back in XWA. He's him. Look out for him, man. That's all I gotta say. Just look out for him because PJ Savage doesn't have that name for no reason.
That's another guy right there. That's gonna be. He's gonna be a star. That guy. I had heard the name for quite a while, and then he showed up at Paradise Alley a couple times, and I was just like, damn, this guy is good. It's not just
It's not a gimmick. It's real life. Yes. He's really who he is. Like,
yeah. He put on the best matches of the show. Like anytime that he was on the show, whether it be against Marcel or I can't think offhand, but I think he wrestled Chase one match as well. But
yeah, he did. He actually did wrestle Chase. Yes, the guy can wrestle. The guy does his thing. And so is his entire takeover group as well. Jay Bougie, all of them. They're doing their things. They're spreading their wings, man. PJ is a tough dude. But that's outside of PAPW. I've wrestled him out in XWA. So back when XWA was a thing.
I heard there's a chance, or they're inquiring, or trying to put it out there that they may return at some point.
Hey, I hope so, man. They gave me some of my best matches over there, man.
Tell me about working XWA. Who have you worked with out there? And tell me, what the experience was like. Some of your best stuff out there.
Oh man, XWA, I got to work Tim Murray. I got to work PJ Savage, as we spoke. I got to work Sean Knight, one half of the Havens. He was actually he's like my fifth match that I've ever had was with Sean Knight, and he really taught me a lot that night too. We helped each other. He helped me, better said, get through the night, and that was the end of it. And I had one of my biggest matches of all time against Richard Holiday. I was the final contestant in one of the gauntlets that he came out. Actually, it was Flash, the final contestant, but I was one of the final guys that, he was supposed that came out with the other groups, all that. So once I came out with them, I finally got to throw down with Richard Holiday. So that was the only encounter I ever had with Richard. So I'm definitely looking to, in the future, to maybe have a match with him. A real, good match with Richard Holiday.
I mean, the guy's all over the place. Holiday, trained in Paradise Alley. He's on national television. It'd be a step, it'd be, that would help you. You know what I'm saying? It would be something really good for you.
And other people too, that I would love to work one day as well, is I would love to one day maybe have a tag team, one day maybe, maybe think of something like that. And the main team I would love to work one day would be the House of Pain. I would definitely never really had any encounter with them in a ring or any of that. And I would definitely love to see what I can do with them one day, man, because I know we can definitely tear the house down. And any way, any shape, any form, man. If I have to pick a teammate or something, however it goes, I would love to throw down with the House of Pain.
What's the best advice or opinion you've received from a peer or coworker in the business?
The best advice I've ever received from peers and coworkers in the business was to don't let yourself get into your head. Don't let yourself think that you're bigger than the business. Don't let yourself think that you're the star and you're the superstar, because in our reality, no one is. You have to be, you have to be there to claim that status. And you're here, don't think you're there. And basically is egoism is what I'm saying. That the main advice that my peers had taught me is to just stay humble and respect what has happened in that squared circle and respect everyone before you, because that's the goal and that's the way to go. Right. And that's the best advice I've ever have received from anyone, because the more humble you are, the more respect you get from your peers. and the more veterans will be on your side, and the more pros and the more older individuals that have actually gone through a lot in this business and have lived it through, that have made it, have been rejected, have been fired, have been hired, have been to the very top, have been to the very bottom, can tell you right from wrong. And when you let that ego build in and get it way into your ass, you start gaining a reputation that you're not going to have that respect. And to me, respect is everything. So egoism and humbleism has been the best advice my peers have ever given me.
GOC also follows that up with Sunset. What do the fans mean to you?
The fans, they mean everything, because without the fans, we have no show. We have no event. We have none of that. Who are we going to entertain? What are we doing? We're not entertaining ourselves. We're having fun, yes, but we're not entertaining ourselves. We're doing it for the fans. We do everything for them. We do everything that we do. We lay our lives and body on the line for them. So I definitely believe that the fans is number one. They come first,
They're the ones that buy the tickets.
They buy the tickets.
Merchandise.
They put the food on our table, man.
Right.
So, those are the ones you have to listen to them. You have to give them what they want. That's the name. That's the name of it. And if you don't, then I don't know what you're in this business for, man.
I've seen you at the shows, after the shows, you hang around for a while before getting lost, or, going home, excuse me, in proper terms. Like, you chill with the fans. I mean, you've hung out there with my kid. My kid's 6 years old. You sat there, you chatted with him, you played with the kids and stuff like that. Nothing but respect.
That kid is
always
amazing.
It just speaks volumes on a human being when they do stuff like that, or somebody in the business, than when they do something like that. I've been snubbed a million times by certain people, over the years, but it just speaks volumes when people are very friendly to their fans, especially the children. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. I don't know how people can be that way. I got 3 kids myself, and I would definitely be very upset if someone does that to my kid. So it's like, and I believe little Jamie has high hopes in this business, man. With the way he comes in, the way he has it, it reminds me of me when I was 5 years old. Like, I got pictures from when I was his age with the belt around my waist, little toy belt, like he does come in to the events, and look at me now. So, you might have yourself a little wrestler there, man. So
he's very excited. He's getting more and more into it as he's, like, I bring him to the shows, and then we watch it at home. Tuesdays at 6:05. He knows it's Tuesday. He knows it's NWA Day.
So he knows.
So that's his favorite show to watch.
So just so you know, man, he's gonna. Just so you know, I never had a father. So I grew up fatherless. I only had my mom, and even with her, it was still a struggle. So he's gonna really respect you, man. You're his superhero right now at the moment. So keep it up like that. He's gonna definitely do everything he does for you, man. So
he's definitely gonna be there this coming weekend, and the show's coming up. He doesn't he goes to most of the shows, but some of them outside of, like, say, Paradise Alley, he doesn't necessarily come to. It's another question coming in from the GOC. Can you describe to the fans the feeling you get when you hit the curtain? That's a good question.
To be honest, that feeling is unexplainable sometimes. Like, you guys ever had a sugar rush? Like, like a kid, a sugar rush. That's kind of like how it feels when you walk through those curtains. It's like you have that rush. You're just, oh my God, like, I can't believe I'm about to do this for you guys. It's the most exciting thing, man. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see. We got a few more questions. If anybody else wants to throw something in, I'm going to ask a couple more questions. Let's see. We already talked about Point Blank being this weekend. That was one of the questions I was saving up. But June 3rd, you're meeting Magnificent Marcos again. Blood, Sweat, and Tears in Bridgeport, Connecticut. You guys are returning to the YMCA building.
Yes, we are. I'm definitely looking forward to throw down with him on that one. It's probably one of a big opportunity for me right now at the moment. So I'm definitely going to take that. I'm definitely going to run with that and just give him one of his best matches. And hopefully he does the same for me.
like I said before, I said it earlier when we talked about him, a tremendous performer.
Tremendous.
Tell me about who you like working with right now outside of the Northeast. You've been working. Let's see. You've mainly worked Connecticut and Massachusetts, correct? Have you
I've
worked
worked
outside of there?
Connecticut. I worked Connecticut. I worked Massachusetts. I've worked Rhode Island. I've worked Maine. I've worked upstate New York.
Okay.
I've been in a couple states around. Trying to get to New Jersey now soon, hopefully.
It's a great scene out there in New Jersey. There's a lot of really
Yeah,
good wrestling out there.
Monster Factory.
Yes,
Never know.
absolutely. Yep.
A lot
I
of
watch.
great.
They have a weekly YouTube series. I watch it all the time. There's some.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
they'll host like a bigger event like once a month on that channel. So
hmm
it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
They do some great, and it's a legendary school as well.
See-
It's been around for a very long time.
Exactly. I always say this: keep an eye on every profession, every pro wrestling you possibly can, even if it's WWE, even if it's Impact, even if it's AEW, no matter what it is, even if it's a regular YouTube indie show. Keep up with it, especially for upcoming wrestlers that are trying to get their foot in the door in their business. Watch it. Watch any bit of wrestling you could watch.
Yeah, I agree. I try to keep up on as much as I possibly can.
Mhm.
I love it, and I've been a fan for damn near 40 years. So
Yeah.
I just love it.
And to me, I know there is bad product, but
Yeah.
I don't go by bad product. To me, there's all product is different product. So it's all good in everyone's eyes. Impact might be good to you, but it might be bad to that guy. AEW might be good to me, but it might be bad to
Right.
that guy. And shit, some guys they might even like backyard wrestling and like what they see, and some
Right.
might not. Like that's just what they like. To me,
It's just go
yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
To
And then
me,
I'll
is
get you.
about To me is about what you like to see. That's the product that you were looking for. So if it's good for you, it's good for you. If it's bad, then go look for what's good for you.
There's so much wrestling today. You're not
So
going to
much.
like everything. Not going
Not
to
at
like
all.
everything. Like you said, there's somebody's personal preference. You may like WWE. Doesn't mean I have to. Do I hate it? No. It's
No,
the first
not at
thing I
all.
discovered. Most people first start watching wrestling, especially in this era, by watching WWE, especially since the
WWE.
80s, I'd have to say.
Exactly. Someone tells me they never watched WWE first, they're lying. So
Right. Yeah. And, I started watching 1984. And do I particularly care for what they're doing now? Not necessarily. Do I still watch it for the most part? But there's a lot of times I hit that fast forward button. I find the stuff I like on the show, but I don't sit here and
exactly.
always. I mean, there have been times I've been very
Mhm.
judgmental about it, but it's just going through an era that you may not particularly like, and that's okay.
Exactly. But you said it
You know?
yourself, just now. You go look for what you like.
Exactly.
You don't go bad mouthing it. You don't go trashing it. What's happened? There's gonna be bad and all. There's a bad movie scene. Doesn't mean you ain't
Right.
like the rest of the movie.
Yes.
So it be like that. You'll skip on that scene after you watch the movie the first time just to go see what you like, and that's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Like
I said, there's wrestling on 7 nights a week basically now. You're
Yeah.
bound to find something that you care about if you like professional wrestling. Anything from streaming on IWTV, streaming on Fight TV, or anything that's on regular cable or YouTube.
Yeah, man.
There's got to be something.
Like for example, Baystate Championship Wrestling just opened up. They just had their inaugural show where me and Lucas met up in the Battle Royal, and I met up with Jiggy. Coliseum Pro Wrestling is coming up May 6th. I can't wait to look up for them and hopefully debut on their show one day. They're having their debut event May 6th. There's
we'll be there.
indie wrestling everywhere, man. Like it's like you can't miss it. There ain't no way that you can miss pro wrestling.
And Connecticut is hot right now. There's a lot of things popping up. Blood, Sweat, and Tears has been running shows again. Like you said, Coliseum Pro's running. I think there's one more. I mean, obviously there's Paradise Alley, Test of Strength.
Yeah, man.
Northeast. There's a lot of stuff popping up in Connecticut. We got another question coming in here. Let's see. GOC, in your opinion, what are the pitfalls of the business?
As in the pros and cons?
Yeah.
So to me, the pitfalls, like I said earlier, when the peers gave me the advice, the pitfalls of it is the egoism and stuff like that. The people that think that they're bigger than the business. You know, that's really the only pitfall thing that I really like find out on certain places. I usually mind my business and just stay humble and stay in my lane. But I do notice it and I do see it and I do run into it. And that's literally the biggest pitfall to me in this business, because if there wasn't that, there wouldn't be no such thing as bad product. There wouldn't be no such thing as bad mouthing this or bad mouthing that. There wouldn't be no such thing as that. So I feel like the biggest pitfall in pro wrestling is definitely the egoism and the cockiness and the thinking that this is better than that or I'm better than this. That's definitely, which is everywhere. You can't run from it. It's in everything. It's even at your shoe job when you go home and clock in on your 9 to 5. So It's like it's even there. It's just that's my biggest pitfall in this business, and I just wish that one day everyone will get together and change that. You know.
Micky Byggs asking a serious question. Have you ever stepped into the ring with someone with egoism?
Yes, I have actually. I stepped foot in the ring with a lot of people that have had egoism. Like, I'm not going to state any names and stuff like that. You know, don't need to state names at all. But I'm just saying in general, like, I've stepped foot in the ring with people that just really thought they were ahead of the game. Better said, like that thought they were better than the business they were working for at the moment. You know, so yeah, and they haven't seen them since, so it explains a lot.
Chaos says, thanks for keeping it real, Sunset.
No problem, man. That's what I do. A lot of people might not like what I just said, but hey, I don't bite my tongue, man. I say what I have to say.
So I know, before we get out of here, what else is in store for Sunset Steve Garcia?
Well, a lot is in store for me, man, because I've been feeling pretty naked every time I walk out through the curtains. You know, I'm feeling like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is in particular, but I think I know what it is. You know, I think it has to do with some gold, and that's my next step. That hopefully, whether it's low card, high card, mid card, but that's my next step, and that's what I'm looking forward to right after I get done with Greg Baylor. All right, Micky Byggs.
He says he actually had newfound mad respect for you. Wow. Nice, some kind words there from Micky Byggs.
You know what I'm saying, Mickey? I take that, Mickey. But we still got some unfinished business when it comes to Greg Baylor. All right.
And I'm looking forward to it. Adonis says, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about Greg and Nye. Y'all is old news. Adonis, get out of here, man.
Adonis, don't you got school in the morning?
Exactly.
He's a great kid, though. You're a great kid.
He's a good kid. Good kid. Yes. A little bit of a menace, but, you know.
Man, it's a society, man. You never know. It's a little bad little dude, man. Come out and probably beat you down in the ring. Don't test him.
That's right. So, where could the fans find you?
Y'all can always find me at Steven Garcia on Facebook. You can find me at Sunset Steve G on Instagram. And you can find me on Garcia Sunset on Twitter.
And thank you very much. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. It's just been a long time coming, because this has been something we've been planning for months, and we finally got to it. And I'm very excited that we actually got
to it. Definitely. Definitely.
You know, so almost excited. Didn't make it tonight, but you know, I was running a little bit late, but we ended up, I got here. So yeah, I want to thank you.
Thank you, man. No, thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity. It's been an honor to be on this podcast, and I will definitely love to be on it once again. And absolutely. For everyone else that watches the podcast, if you're not watching PWZ, then you are definitely missing out. So tune in every Tuesdays. Every time this guy, the professor, Rick Dos Santo, has a show for PWZ, please tune in.
And don't forget, we got 2 shows tomorrow night. Tune in. 9:00. Me and Micky Byggs talking the NWA, and then right after AWA, I did the second time I called missed the AEW, excuse me, Dynamite. Me and Marcelo jumping on. So don't forget to tune in. You can find us everywhere from Facebook to Twitter to, what's this one called? YouTube, and iTunes, Spotify, everywhere. We are everywhere. So please don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave us a review, 5-star review, and get our name. Help us get our name out there. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to hit 3,000. About 500 subscribers away, and once we hit that 3,000 mark, we're holding a huge contest.
Yeah, man, and don't forget to check out Empire Pro as well, June 18th.
That's right.
Empire Pro Wrestling, Connecticut. All right,
that's
Empire Pro Wrestling.
Show.
Yes, I'm also debuting there too, June 18th. So don't forget about that one.
That's right. I forgot to ask you about that in my notes, but
it's all good, man.
Pushing that show every day when we're here. That is a show I will definitely be there. Hey, man, they got merch. I bought my shirt this morning. I'm very excited.
Yeah, they
can't wait for it to come in.
Yeah, man. So yeah, everybody tune in. Empire Pro as well.
That's right.
June 18th.
All right. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
See you, brother.